I used to think simple meant honest. She always said she didn't need much, just love, loyalty, and a roof over her head. But somewhere along the line, her closet started looking more expensive than my pension. Every gift I bought felt like a thank you for something I hadn't noticed was being taken. I moved to the Philippines for peace. Instead, I funded her fashion brand and lost myself in the process. The ferry rocked gently between Siargao and Surigao, and I was trying to escape the bitter Saskatchewan winter that had frozen more than just the ground back home. My marriage had ended 2 years earlier, leaving me with a furniture store I'd sold and a pension that felt like freedom. At 61, I thought I'd seen enough of people to know who was real and who wasn't. Then she walked past my seat, carrying nothing but a faded canvas tote bag. "Excuse me, sir," she said, her voice soft as morning rain. "May I sit here? All other seats are taken." I looked around. The ferry was maybe half full. "Of course," I said, moving my backpack. She settled beside me, no makeup, no jewelry, just a simple sundress that looked like it had been washed 100 times. Her smile felt like sunlight breaking through clouds. "You are tourist?" she asked. "Something like that. I'm Malcolm, from Canada. I am Ivana, from Davao originally, but now I work in Surigao." She laughed, a sound so genuine it made my chest tighten. "I like simple life, sir. I only want to open small sari-sari store someday. Nothing fancy, just honest work." Something about the way she said honest work hit me deep. My ex-wife had always wanted more. Bigger house, newer car, fancier vacations. Here was a woman who dreamed small, who understood that happiness didn't have a price tag. "What kind of work do you do now?" I asked. "I clean offices at night, but I save every peso for my dream store. Maybe 5 years, maybe 10, but I will have it." She looked out at the water, and I watched her profile, the way peace seemed to radiate from her. "Simple life is good life, you think?" "I think you're absolutely right." When the ferry docked, I didn't want to say goodbye. "Would you like to have lunch? I know it's forward, but I would like that very much, Sir Malcolm." That lunch became dinner. Dinner became a walk along the shore. The walk became 3 days that stretched into a week. She showed me her tiny apartment, barely bigger than my old walk-in closet, but she moved through it like a queen in a palace. "This is enough for me," she said, gesturing at the single bed, the plastic chair, the hot plate on a wooden crate. "I don't need luxury. I need only peace." I found myself telling her things I'd never told anyone, about the loneliness that had crept into my marriage like rot in timber, about how I'd built a successful business but felt like I'd failed at life, about coming to the Philippines not just for warmth, but for a chance to be someone different. "You have kind heart," she said on my last night. "Kind hearts are rare treasure." When I left for Canada, she stood at the airport gate, tears streaming down her cheeks. "I will miss you, Malcolm. You made me feel special." "You are special, Ivana. Don't let anyone tell you different." Back in Saskatchewan, the cold hit me like a slap, but it wasn't just the weather. My empty house felt like a mausoleum. Every night at 11 my time, 7 in the morning hers, I'd call Ivana on WhatsApp. The video was always grainy, her connection spotty, but seeing her face made everything else bearable. She'd be sitting outside her building, wearing the same plain tank top, hair pulled back in a simple ponytail. "Good morning, my Malcolm," she'd say, and hearing those words made me feel like I mattered again. "How was your work last night?" I'd ask. "Very tired, but okay. I saved 40 pesos yesterday, 40 pesos closer to my dream store." She'd smile, but I could see the exhaustion in her eyes. Sometimes I think it's impossible, you know. Prices go up, but salaries stay same. That's when I started helping. First, it was just her phone plan. "Ivana, let me pay for unlimited data so we can talk better." "Oh no, sir, I cannot accept, please. It's nothing to me, and it means everything to be able to see you clearly." Then it was her rent. She'd mentioned her landlord raising it, and I saw the worry creep into her voice. "Let me help with that too. I want you to focus on saving for your store, not stressing about rent. Malcolm, you are too good to me. I promise I will pay you back when my store is successful. I don't want you to pay me back. I want you to be happy." The truth was, helping her made me feel useful again. My ex-wife had made me feel like my generosity was weakness, but Ivana appreciated every gesture. She'd send me photos of the simple meals she cooked, always thanking me for making it possible. Because of you, I buy fresh fish today. Small happiness, but real happiness. When I returned to visit her 4 months later, she cried at the airport like I was coming home from war. In the taxi, she held my hand and whispered, "I missed you so much I thought my heart would break." I missed you too, sweetheart. More than you know. That visit, I noticed she'd bought a few new things. A nicer phone case, a small jewelry box. When I asked about them, she blushed. "I wanted to look pretty for you. I save little bit each month for special things. You're beautiful, no matter what you wear. But woman likes to feel beautiful, you understand? Even simple woman like me." I understood. Or I thought I did. The changes seemed so innocent, so understandable. She was still the same Ivana, still talking about her dream store, still grateful for everything. If she wanted to treat herself to small luxuries, hadn't she earned that right? On my third visit, she mentioned the online store for the first time. We were lying in bed, her head on my chest, when she said, "Malcolm, I have idea. Maybe I start online business first, before physical store. Less expensive, you know." "What kind of online business?" "Just pre-loved clothes. Just cheap things from Shopee and Facebook Marketplace. I can resell for small profit, build customer base." She looked up at me with those eyes that still made my heart skip. "I research everything. Very simple business, very honest." The way she said very honest should have been a warning, but I was too deep in love to hear it. "How much would you need to start?" "Oh, I don't want your money for this. I want to do myself. Ivana, let me help. What's 20,000 pesos to me? If it makes you happy, it makes me happy." She kissed my chest. "You are best man in world, Malcolm. With your help, I build something beautiful. Something that make you proud." 20,000 became 30 when she needed a ring light for product photos. Professional photos very important for online selling, she explained, showing me grainy comparison shots on her phone. Customer want to see quality. 30 became 50 when she needed a branded bag for a giveaway promotion. I follow other seller, and they always do giveaway to get followers. More followers mean more sales. "What kind of bag costs 20,000 pesos? I asked. "Coach bag. Real one, not fake. Customer can tell difference, and they trust seller who use quality products." She scrolled through her phone, showing me other sellers' posts. "Look, sir. This seller has Coach bag in photo, and she has 50,000 followers. This one has only fake bag, and she has 5,000 followers. Big difference." I wanted to ask why she needed 50,000 followers to sell pre-loved clothes, but the way she explained it made sense. Trust was important in business. Quality attracted quality. "Okay," I said. "But that's it, right? After this, the business should start making its own money." "Of course, my love. After this, I am independent businesswoman. We'll see." But independence seemed to require more investment. A better phone for live streaming, professional lighting setup, a laptop for managing orders. Then came the Zara haul. "I don't understand," I said, watching her unpack bag after bag of clothes with tags still attached. "I thought you were selling pre-loved items." "I am, but customers want to see how clothes look on real person. So I buy new clothes, model them for photos and videos, then sell as pre-loved with tiny discount. Very smart strategy." She held up a dress that probably cost more than some people's monthly salary. "This dress will get many likes on TikTok. Many likes mean many customers." I didn't even know what TikTok was until my credit card started getting notifications every few hours. Charges from stores I'd never heard of, amounts that made me dizzy. When I called the bank, they asked if my card had been stolen. "No," I said, watching Ivana arrange her latest purchases for another photo shoot. "It's not stolen." But something had been stolen. I just didn't know what yet. The closet in her apartment started looking like a department store. Rows of clothes with tags still attached, shoes in their original boxes, accessories still in shopping bags. When I asked about it, she'd always have an explanation. "I keep tags on for photos, then remove before wearing for modeling shots. But you have 10 identical dresses. Different sizes for different customers to try on virtually. This purse costs more than my monthly pension payment." Investment piece. Luxury items get highest engagement on social media. Every answer sounded reasonable in isolation, but together they formed a picture I didn't want to see. I told myself she was just excited about her business. She was learning as she went. The fashion industry was different from selling furniture. I didn't understand modern marketing, but I understood coldness, and that's what I started feeling from her. When I'd visit, she'd spend hours on live streams, laughing, and flirting with strangers on TikTok, while I sat on her couch like furniture myself. "Good evening, beautiful followers," she'd coo into her phone. "Tonight we have special sale on premium pre-loved items." Pre-loved. I'd mutter under my breath, looking at the price tag she hadn't bothered to remove. "You don't understand hustle culture, Malcolm," she said after I complained about being ignored. "In this generation you must work 24/7 to succeed. Social media never sleep, so I cannot sleep. But when do we spend time together? I come here to see you, not to watch you perform for strangers. This is my future you are watching. Our future. When my business succeed, we can be together all the time. But now, I must focus." The word "our" should have comforted me, but it felt hollow. Like everything else she said these days, it sounded practiced, rehearsed for maximum effect. The breaking point came during her mother's visit. I'd suggested it months earlier, wanting to meet the woman who'd raised such a supposedly simple, family-oriented daughter. I paid for her bus ticket from the province, her accommodation, even took them both shopping for groceries. Ivana's mother was everything I'd hoped Ivana would remain. Humble, grateful, genuinely moved by small gestures. She cried when I bought her a new dress, not because it was expensive, but because no one had bought her anything new in years. "Your boyfriend is very good, man," she told Ivana in broken English, wanting me to understand. "You are lucky, girl." "Yes, Mama," Ivana replied without looking up from her phone. "Very lucky." But she didn't act lucky. She barely acknowledged her mother's presence, scheduling live streams during dinner, taking calls from business partners, while her mother sat alone in the corner. When the older woman tried to help with the online store, suggesting traditional Filipino dresses for the inventory, Ivana laughed. "Mama, nobody wants that. Old-fashioned style. My customers want trending fashion, not province clothes." I watched her mother's face crumple, and something crumpled inside me too. "Ivana, maybe you could take a break from work, while your mother is here." "Malcolm, you don't understand. I have 15,000 followers now. If I disappear for even one day, they forget about me. Other sellers will take my customers." She went back to her phone, adjusting her ring light for another session. "Mama understand. She know I work hard for better life." That night, I slept on the couch. Not because there wasn't room in the bed, but because I couldn't bear to lie next to someone who'd become a stranger. I listened to her mother cry softly in the kitchen, probably wondering what had happened to the daughter she'd raised. When I confronted Ivana the next morning, she was already setting up for another live stream. "Your mother is crying, and you don't even care." "Of course I care, but crying don't pay bills, work pay bills. Success pay bills." She adjusted her new necklace, another investment piece that had appeared on my credit card statement. "Mama will understand when I am rich and famous. When I can buy her nice house in province." She doesn't want a nice house. She wants her daughter back. I am still her daughter, but I am also businesswoman now, modern woman. You cannot have old-fashioned mindset in new economy. Modern woman, new economy. She spoke in phrases that sounded like they came from motivational videos, not from her heart. When had she become this person? Or had this person always been there, hidden beneath the simple dress and canvas tote bag? I started paying closer attention. To the way she spoke differently on camera than in person, to the messages that popped up on her phone screen, to the receipts that didn't match her explanations, and what I found made my stomach turn. Her birthday was the final revelation. I'd planned a surprise dinner at the fancy seafood restaurant she'd been talking about for months. "It's too expensive for normal day," she'd said, "but maybe someday for special occasion." When we arrived, the hostess smiled warmly at Ivana. "Welcome back, miss. Same table as Tuesday night?" I felt the blood drain from my face. "Tuesday night?" Ivana's laugh sounded forced, artificial. "Oh, I come here for business meetings sometimes. Many followers ask me to review expensive restaurants." "Business meeting? With who?" "Different people. Investors. Potential partners." She waved her hand dismissively. "Very boring. Tonight is special because I am with you." But the hostess was still talking. "Will your Canadian friend be joining you again? He was so generous with the tip." The world tilted sideways. Another Canadian. I have many followers, Malcolm. Some are Canadian, some are American, some are local. They support my business in different ways. She grabbed my arm, her nails digging in. Don't be jealous. Business is business. I made it through dinner on autopilot, my mind replaying every strange charge on my credit card, every suspicious phone call, every time she'd been too busy for me but never too busy for her business. When she went to the bathroom, I did something I'd never done before. I looked at her phone. The messages were all there. Screenshots of bank transfers, thank you daddy notes with heart emojis, photos she'd sent to other men, wearing the jewelry I'd bought her, conversations about meeting up, about special prices for special friends, about services that had nothing to do with selling clothes. Looking for something? She asked from behind me. I found everything I was looking for. My voice sounded dead even to myself. Malcolm, you don't understand. This is just business. Modern marketing very complex. You cannot think traditional way about customer relationships. Customer relationships. Is that what you call this? I call it survival. I call it building empire. You can support me, or you can judge me, but don't pretend you understand struggle of young woman in developing country. She was right about one thing. I didn't understand. I didn't understand how someone could smile so sweetly while calculating so coldly. I didn't understand how simple life and honest work had become code for something else entirely. I didn't understand how I'd become so stupid so quickly. The next morning, I packed my bags while she slept, or pretended to sleep. She watched me from the bed, her expression unreadable. Where are you going? Home. For how long? I don't know. Maybe forever. She didn't cry, didn't beg me to stay, didn't even get out of bed. You'll come back, she said, adjusting her ring light even though it wasn't even turned on. They always do. But she'd already turned away, reaching for her phone. Probably to message the next one, to line up her next investment opportunity. I flew to Cebu to clear my head, rented a small room near the sea, and tried to delete her number from my phone. But late at night, I found myself watching her live streams, like picking at a wound. She wore the bracelet I'd given her, the one she'd said reminded her of her grandmother's rosary. She smiled that same sweet smile, told her followers the same stories about wanting a simple life, used the same words that had hooked me. Good evening, beautiful supporters, she'd say. Tonight I want to share something from my heart. I believe in simple living, in honest work, in building something real with people who care about you. The comments rolled in. Hearts and fire emojis and promises of support from lonely men halfway around the world. Men like me, who heard what they wanted to hear, who saw what they needed to see. Men who thought they were rescuing someone when they were really just funding someone. I deleted the app, but the damage was done. I'd seen behind the curtain, and I couldn't unsee it. 3 weeks later she messaged me one last time. Malcolm, I have exciting news. I found perfect space for my boutique. Real physical store, just like I always dream. But I need help with deposit. If you invest in this, I will name store after you. Malcolm's Fashion Paradise. What you think? I almost laughed. Almost. How much? Only 200,000 pesos. Very reasonable for prime location in Ayala Center. Send me receipts for everything I've given you so far. The typing indicator appeared and disappeared several times. Then, why you want receipts? You don't trust me? Send me receipts, Ivana. The message showed as read, but no response came. An hour later, I was blocked on all platforms. 2 days after that, scrolling through Facebook, I saw her post. A grand opening announcement for YV Luxe Boutique, with photos of a gleaming storefront filled with the same designer clothes that had filled her closet. Soft launch of YV Luxe Boutique. Thank you to everyone who believed in my dream. Always grateful. In one of the photos, she held the gold Prada purse I'd refused to buy her 3 weeks earlier, claiming it was too expensive, even for her investment pieces. She'd found another investor, another Malcolm, another lonely man who thought he was buying love but was really just buying time. I stared at that photo for a long time, waiting for anger or heartbreak or regret. Instead, I felt something unexpected. Relief. The illusion was broken, the spell lifted, the performance over. For the first time in months, I could see clearly. I moved to Dumaguete a month later, rented a one-bedroom house with a view of the sea, and started volunteering at a literacy program for local children. My pension goes further here, Not because I'm funding someone else's dreams, but because I've learned the difference between generosity and being used. The children I teach don't want designer bags or ring lights. They want pencils and books and someone who believes in their potential. When I buy them school supplies, they write thank you notes in careful English. Teacher Malcolm, thank you for helping me learn. I will study hard and make you proud. These notes don't come with demands for more. They don't come with stories about needing just one more thing to be happy. They come from gratitude, real gratitude, the kind that doesn't calculate its worth in pesos. I don't own much anymore. A few changes of clothes, some books, a laptop for staying in touch with my daughter back in Canada. No ring lights, no branded bags, no fake promises wrapped in pretty words. Just real sunrises, real conversations, real connections with people who see me as more than a source of funding. Sometimes I think about Ivana, especially when I pass the new boutiques that seem to open every month, each one promising authentic Filipino fashion at affordable prices. I wonder if she ever thinks about that ferry ride, when she carried nothing but a canvas tote and dreams of a simple sari-sari store. I wonder if she remembers telling me that kind hearts are rare treasures, or if that was just another line in her performance. But I don't hate her. Hate requires energy I'd rather spend on better things. She taught me an expensive but valuable lesson about the difference between wanting to help someone and wanting to be needed by someone, about the difference between love and transaction, about the difference between simple living and simply lying. The children call me Teacher Malcolm now, and when they say it, it sounds like a title I've earned, not bought. They don't promise to love me forever or name stores after me. They just show up every day, ready to learn, grateful for whatever I can offer. It's a simple exchange, honest and clean. I still believe in simple living, in honest work, in building something real with people who care about you. I just know now that these things can't be purchased, only found. And sometimes you have to lose everything fake to find something real. My closet is simple again. My bank, to account, is my own again. My heart, scarred but intact, is learning to trust again. Not in promises or performances, but in the quiet consistency of people who show up not for what you can give them, but for who you are. That's simple enough for me.